Learnings from hundreds of prompts in AIPRM. I'm Christoph Camper, founder of AIPRM, Link Research Tools and Link Detox. What is AIPRM? It's a browser extension that helps you reveal a set of curated prompts, powerful prompts, inside ChatGPT. It started with 10 prompts only and had 30,000 users within a couple days. In the first week, we already had marketing and SaaS prompts in there. And in week 2, we opened it up for a community. We made it crowdsourced as a prompt marketplace, a crowdsourced prompt library with about 210,000 users today and over 700 public prompt templates. There are over 8,000 private prompt templates, and today we send about 6 million prompts with these templates to ChatGPT. So very heavy use. AIPRM is also a prompt engineering community. There's an ongoing competition for votes, the likes, inside the platform. And so the prompt engineers, the people that publish these prompts, compete with each other on an ongoing daily basis and improve their prompts and try to make you get the best out of ChatGPT. So this is an ongoing learning, of course, because everything is so new. Today I want to share some learnings from the first couple of weeks of AIPRM. It's only 6-7 weeks now, and I'll give you some high-level learnings first, then some details, some examples, and we'll see where we get. So the high-level learning number 1 from AIPRM is prompt is more than a sentence. There are so many people out there that share a prompt that looks something like this. Behave like an e-commerce expert and create a homepage headline for an industry called product for this brand. That's it. That's the one sentence. But that's like you going to a community and asking a question like, can someone help me master artificial intelligence? What's that about? What do you expect? With this little brief command, you will only get one result. You will be frustrated. You will say, ChatGPT sucks. Let me tell you, in fact, the prompt sucks. It's just one sentence. And the web is full of these one-liners. You can go to LinkedIn any day of any week. You see these lists with hundreds or thousands of prompts out there that are all just one-liners. And they won't make you happy. This is what AIPRM was made for. Prompt is more than one sentence. So here's just one example. It doesn't even fit on the screen. I can scroll here and it has a lot of very specific instructions. Why? Because that's how you get the most out of a large language model like ChatGPT. When we look at this prompt inside AIPRM, you see a tab like this, a little card describing that this is the keyword strategy prompt template and that it helps you create a keyword strategy and an SEO content plan from one keyword only with one click. And what it does is it takes what we've just seen and fills in the variable. So prompts are the new code, and what we've seen is a more advanced prompt template than the one sentence, obviously. So when we type in AI prompt engineering, we would immediately get a table like this, derived from that prompt, with a keyword cluster, the search intent, the meta description for all these keywords that ChatGPT spits out. You cannot do that with one sentence, obviously. And we'll look at some more hands-on examples very soon. Bear with me. High-level learning number 2. It suddenly stops. You won't believe how many people contact us every single hour and tell us that ChatGPT suddenly stops. Yeah, you're right. We are somewhat like a secondary support for ChatGPT now, thanks to over 200,000 users. And everyone complains that it suddenly stops, that it can only do 500 words or something like that. So many people do not know that you can ask for more output from ChatGPT. That's why we built a continue button, and we even made it an advanced continue button, because you can not only ask it to just continue writing, you can ask it to clarify, to exemplify, to expand, to shorten, you name it. You have to instruct it to do things. So don't get frustrated if the first output is not to your liking. Humans can't read your mind, and ChatGPT certainly can't read your mind. You have to instruct it very detailed. Okay, so high-level learning number 3. The output is always boring. ChatGPT doesn't know how to write really good. You know these complaints, right? You can ask for a tone and a style. And to be frank, all these people that are complaining about ChatGPT being so limited were probably just using a one-sentence prompt. There's this old saying in the IT about garbage in, garbage out. It applies here as well. If you have very brief inputs, you get very standard, trivial outputs. You can't expect more. You can't expect the machine to read your mind. And specifically, when we talk about styles, you can ask for a tone and a style. And we also suggested a couple of those inside AIPRM now, which is really helpful, where you can change the tone and the style of the output with just a click. High-level learning number 4. You have to give assertive instructions. I just mentioned that, but this is probably the most important learning for all the users of ChatGPT or any large language model that will be coming out in the future. ChatGPT is like your new junior team member. ChatGPT only has 3,000 words of memory. So if you have the idea that it remembers what you told it yesterday, that's probably wrong. And humans can read your mind. ChatGPT can't read your mind. Like I just said, you have to give it specific, assertive instructions. And this is what the very long prompts are for. So here's high-level learning number 5. Extremely high traffic is being sent from little author links of the prompts in AIPRM to wherever you write about your prompt, wherever you explain your prompt on your website. Hundreds of clicks per day for the prompt templates that are popular, which means we also have a lot of spam attempts, which we answered with very clear, strict guidelines, moderation and takedown. Also automatic detection of duplicates, canonical detection, removals, and of course user reports that lead to takedowns and bans of users. Now finally, we're here for the hands-on examples. Let's look at a target audience and create some startup ideas. Click on the prompt link here. It goes to the new AIPRM backend. And this is the prompt that we want to use for this specific example. Talk about the target audience for AI prompt engineering. Inside your Chrome extension, it looks like this. It's an amazing prompt created by Prompt MBA. Smart guys. And it comes back with a couple product ideas, with a vision, with a description for the product, a high-level immediate elevator pitch. It goes on with a second and a third and a fourth idea, the prompt party and AI marketplace, you name it. And this is with one click, based on a very fancy prompt that I also reviewed and approved and had in there from day 5 or so. But we can rewrite this. We can use the feature that I just showed you here with the rewrite button on the continue dropdown down there, and immediately get this rewritten into maybe something that is more persuasive or more argumentative with one click, 2 clicks. Is that great? Now let's look at another prompt. Find question and answers. One of the first prompts that AIPRM had. Again, when we use online community for AI prompt engineering, we can uncover some questions and write the answers for that already with one prompt, with one click. And you can see it comes back with the top 10 questions with possible catchy blog titles and subheadings. Structure. You have this essentially a briefing, a content briefing in there already that of course we always recommend to review, to improve, to use that as a baseline. Never take the AI output for granted because it can also hallucinate, but it comes back with really helpful results here already. And then there's the copywriter frameworks, sales cliffhanger framework, and get for our prompt engineering marketplace immediately a story to tell This could be the basis for a blog post, or better, for some kind of video production. With just a few words, you can instruct ChatGPT to use this story. If it's too short, just tell ChatGPT to expand. And here we go with an expanded version. And we can do that again, and it will become even longer. There's no limit to your imagination. And this little command to expand the result is a trivial one. You can instruct it to change things around. If you don't like the way the story flows, just tell it, ChatGPT. Be very specific. Make the hero Maria instead of Jane. Talk about this specific product. Talk about this or that. You can just instruct ChatGPT. Just do it. So these were the copywriter frameworks. And with the remaining time, I just want to go and show you some more examples. Shall we? To ChatGPT and the user interface that you've probably seen already, and do all these great things here. So let's say I want to have my keyword strategy for AI software development. If you're in the software business, then you know that the code assistant in Visual Studio has been around for a year already. We've been using it since March 2022, and it's fantastic. So there's no question that software development will change. It already has changed for over a year. It actually led to productivity that we used for AIPRM already. And just look at this. If you want to market in AI software development, this is what you can start with. You have an industry overview, key concepts, tools and frameworks, business applications, and go down. You have a structure here already. All of these ideas you could immediately use and ask ChatGPT to continue. Let's take the first one, the Beginner's Guide to AI Software Development. And we want an article for that. There you go, the Beginner's Guide to AI Software Development. And as you can tell, it's quite fast. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's quite fast on ChatGPT Plus, which we really recommend to use to have it available and get much faster output than with the free version. Yeah, and you can tell it writes faster than I can read barely, and we didn't start to expand on this or even give it instructions to change things around. Look at that. 9, 10. Conclusion. Wow, 10 points. Okay. Now shall we expand it? Here we go. So here's one very simple example. Now, the problem, of course, is if you have paid attention, a lot of people now start to use ChatGPT and other AI tools for a while. So someone asked me to write a prompt to actually TLDR long text. And what I just did is I copy-pasted that output into the next prompt, the TLDR prompt I created. It gives you a quick summary again from the created content, ready for LinkedIn with these nice emojis. And you can play the thought leader with that, probably only if you add your own thoughts. It didn't change the style yet, so we'll rewrite it. Oh, the emojis are gone. Have some poetry with a click of a button. Or would we rather change this into sales copy with an optimistic, really persuasive writing? You can unleash the power. If it starts something like that, someone is writing to sell on you. I think you get the idea. So what else do we have in there that I really like? There's a couple time machines. I think it's the Time Traveler's Guide to World History. We give it a destination and a time, and it would tell us, in Lonely Planet style, what to see, what to do, what to care about. So, Vienna, my hometown, at 500 after Christ, Anno Domini. bustling town full of people and activities. Vindobona, that was the original name, exactly the Latin name. And they could have met King Kundama, Emperor Anastasius, and Bishop Severinus. I had no idea. If you have a time machine, send me that sign-up link, please. Take my credit card. So what else do we have in there that's funny or amazing? There's a lot of generative art for Midjourney, and this one here from Eris is especially great. If I give it a concept, it would take that concept, extract the relevant details for the Midjourney art generator, and then, spit out what you need to tell to the other AI. A robot dancing in the snow. I wrote a whole blog post about that. Dancing in the snow would lead to 4 prompts here that you can take, copy, paste, and put into Midjourney. Of course, there are some Midjourney experts that have mentioned some critical words that these are not the perfect Midjourney prompts. And I learned a little bit more about Midjourney prompts, and I have to agree with them because there's a lot of filler words in here that are just ignored by the Midjourney AI. Luckily, there are some others coming out, and I'm working on one of them in my own prompts, a generic Final Fantasy what was that? A robot in the snow. Robots dancing in the snow. That would spit out only the specific details that Midjourney needs. As you can see, they are shorter, they're briefer, and I found them to create a lot better results than the ones that are out there in Midjourney, but I just didn't have time to release it. And maybe this is one important thing to know about prompt engineering, prompting large language models like ChatGPT. Prompts are the new code. You cannot simply slap a sentence there and expect wonders. You have to fine-tune it. You have to learn how to work with the machine. You have to get to know how this specific model responds to your prompts. That also means if you have that fantastic prompt for ChatGPT, it may not work for other large language models. And we can see that already today when you use a prompt that works really great on ChatGPT, you cannot use it on this prior version, the GPT-3, which is available on the playground, on the OpenAI playground. They just need different prompts. So prompt engineering is here to stay, and a prompt engineer needs to learn and qualify for a specific language model. So there is a lot of prompt engineers probably inside Google for the even superior model PAL-M that prompted differently than ChatGPT. I can't wait until we get access. I'm just not sure if we will. So these were a couple more examples, and there's still plenty of time. So let's see what else we have. The blog post title, you can scroll through this. I totally forgot that we have software engineering in the categories. If you haven't discovered that, there's different categories here, topics in AIPRM, where we have productivity prompts, copywriting prompts, and of course software applications and software engineering prompts. And a very popular one is the Python Pro, but also HTML and CSS. So you can always use the Python Pro and ask it a question. How can I read a file and print each line? Then you get a recommendation of how to do it. Very popular languages like Python or C or Java will work really well with ChatGPT. If you have more exotic requirements, a new language or a new templating system like the Hugo templates, they don't work simply because ChatGPT has a cutoff date somewhere in I think summer 2021. It doesn't know anything newer than that. But Python has been around for a while. So there's that. And these couple comments here are actually very detailed. It takes you step by step. And I've seen prompts where people want to learn a language. Yeah. If you find a prompt that does not work, you can always give it a thumbs down here. And the more thumbs down a prompt gets, it will be filtered. You can also report it if you think this is really nasty for legal concerns, or has the wrong language, wrong topics, doesn't work as expected, or is simply spam. And all of these reports will be automatically taken into the ranking algorithms. AIPRM is also a search engine for the prompts, as you can tell. So we have experienced things, problems, just like Google has with duplicate content, for example, that we tackle underneath in the backend system. But back to the language. Understand a woman's language, a blog expert, AI translator, learn a language and practice it. So I want to learn German. Let's see what it comes back. It comes back in English. To keep the conversation going, what motivated you to start learning? Maybe we should switch to German then, to make this work as well, right? Wir sprechen Deutsch ab jetzt. Yeah, and now it would engage me in a conversation in German and help me learn. Ich beginne gerade erst. And it should engage me in a conversation to teach me, give me examples to read, and correct me when I'm wrong. Of course, native speaking German from Austria, so this is not something that I struggled with. But I can try to simulate typing something in here wrong, just for the sake of this example. So that's not German. I told him that I cannot speak German, and it immediately encourages me that this is not a problem. This probably gets boring if you're not German speaking. So let's go to another example. And I think one final example to do are all these different HTMLs, you know, where you could get your HTML corrected or ask questions about HTML, or something that a lot of people find interesting is to rewrite articles to make them human written. Human written as in that AI content detector does not find that it's made with ChatGPT. Reality is, and I looked into a couple of these AI detectors, they don't work really well. The AI detectors are trained on hundreds or thousands of examples, no question, and they might come back with an estimation, you know, of how much that pattern matches to the output pattern. But if you use some of these, and you know, you can tell we have a lot of interest in that topic. If you use some of these prompts to rewrite the content, they might have a harder time. But you can just change the tone or ask it to expand and rewrite. Whenever you take a second step, all these AI detectors usually fail already. So that's what the reality is. And today, I don't know about a single AI detector that can detect content coming out of ChatGPT reliably. Some give you a 50-50 chance, but what's that good for? So you can try any of these and test it with your detectors. But I would recommend you to rather spend your time to not worry about these flawed AI detectors, but rather invest time into providing ChatGPT facts, working on the prompts, making the prompts better. And I can guarantee you that it's just going to be harder and harder for any kind of software to detect automatically generated content from these models. We're just getting started. And this is true for, of course, simple people like us, but also Google will probably have its struggles and needs a lot more signals than some patterns on metrics like perplexity to detect this in the future. Although they're good approaches. So that's it. Let me go back to my slide deck. I think that was it. We're only getting started. AIPRM is a marketplace and a community, and I encourage you to join it, to use it, and to learn with me and all the others how to prompt AI, how to prompt ChatGPT, and other platforms that we're working on. And you can get all that at AIPRM.com. Thank you very much. My name is Christoph Kemper, founder of AIPRM. Thank you.